Welcome back to Brawlmaster Unscripted. This is the segment where I answer an assortment of questions, be they thoughtful or stupid. I don't know if this will happen or not, but my nose is running and driving me crazy right now, so if you hear me sniff, it's because I think I'm coming down with something. You probably can't tell from my throat because it hasn't spread there yet. I'm not totally sick yet, but it's January. It's still cold here, so I guess it's not totally out of the realm of the possibility that I'm getting sick. It's not what I needed right before I go back to school, but what are you going to do? Anyways, enough about me. I don't have quite as many questions for you guys in this installment, but that's really just because I'm hard at work on that Pokemon list, that Pokemon episodes list, and I'm kind of racing against the clock to get that done before I start going back to class. But I thought I'd get something else out for you to watch in the meantime until the list gets done, so here you go, and let's get started. Okay, here's a question from Ampharos95. What kind of music do you prefer, and what artist is your favorite? Not the most original question ever, but here's a muffin. Anywho, Bros Muffin. Well, first off, thank you for the muffin. Even though I'm allergic! Nah, I'm kidding. I love muffins. But, oh yeah, answering your question. I mostly prefer certain variations of rock. I'm really not picky when it comes to music. I generally like most genres of music. I think the only one I don't really care for that much is rap. But yeah, I'd say rock is definitely my favorite. There's just something about it that just really hits home with me. My favorite band is Yellowcard. They're not strictly rock, they're more alternative. I think when they first started out, they were more punk rock, but it all sounds like rock to me, so I just call them a rock band. To this day, I still wish I could do a list of my top 10 favorite Yellowcard songs, especially after hearing their newest album, Lift a Sail, that came out. But unless YouTube revises their copyright policies, that will probably never happen, sadly. Okay, next question is from Mech Suit Warrior. Have you seen the AVGN movie yet? Can't say that I have. I heard they were making one. I didn't even know it came out, if it's out on DVD or if it's online somewhere. This is news to me. It never came out in my town, so it's not like I saw it in theaters or anything. I haven't even seen it in stores, so I don't even know if they're only selling it in certain places. But yeah, the movie's completely avoided me. I haven't seen it. As much as I like AVGN, I think I'm actually more of a Nostalgia Critic fan myself. I mean, I like both content from both users, but I think there's just something more about Doug's style that appeals to me more. I mean, I still like AVGN, I just haven't kept up with him in such a long time, and I do kind of want to see the movie because I still do enjoy his videos, but I'm not really going out of my way to look for the movie to watch it. It's just one of those things where if I come across it, then I'll give it a viewing. But yeah. Next question comes from Pendulum Wing. Have you defeated the scallywaggers that stole your cheese sandwich yet? Indeed I have, fair maiden. The cheesy delicacy of yonder vale is mine once more. Wait, scallywagger is a pirate term. I think what I just said was more medieval. And oh crap, we're still recording. Next question. This next question comes from Wrestling's Real. If you could punch anyone in the face, who would it be? Oh boy. I'd say all the people that use virgin as an insult. Look, sex is a natural part of life. It's important. We get it. Heck, without sex, none of us would even be here right now. But I'm sorry if I'm not planting my seed in every other girl I come across. There's more to life than sex, or at least there is to mine anyways. If all you think and care about is sex and nothing else, and you feel the need to pry into the lives of others like that, then your existence is a sorry one, in my eyes, and I'd rather punch you in the face than impregnate a woman just to prove myself to some mindless horndog. I'll have sex when my partner is ready and when I'm ready, but the matter of when that time is certainly none of your business. If you think sex is the most important thing in the world, good for you, I guess. But the rest of us aren't you, so get over yourself. Man, I've been wanting to say that for a while. Thank you for the question. But I know that even just mentioning the word sex is probably going to prompt someone to call me a virgin. Yeah, I'm a virgin. Sorry I don't meet your expectations. I'm sorry getting knocked up isn't the top of my priority list. I've kind of got other things to worry about right now, like, oh, I don't know, keeping my job, paying off the down payment on my car, earning a degree. Yeah, that stuff is all kind of important. But literally, if all you care about is sex, then I couldn't expect you to understand any of that. Anyway, next question. This next one comes from Kerbizzle. I like your username. What would you say is your favorite game from the N64? Also, how dare you insult its heavenly controller? Well, your controller might still be heavenly, but mine isn't. I'm surprised the analog stick hasn't snapped off yet from all the years I've been using it and abusing it. But I'd say my favorite game would probably be Super Mario 64. I mean, what did you expect? I mean, it was the first video game I ever played, it was revolutionary for its time, and for the most part, I still think it holds up pretty well today. What? Your favorite game is not Ocarina of Time? How dare you? I know, shocker. Better come burn my house down now for having a different opinion, right? Oh, stay classy, Ocarina of Time fans. Stay classy. Okay, this next question comes from Bradley Burke. Why is your name familiar to me, Bradley? Do I know you from somewhere? I feel like I knew a Burke once. On second thought, I think his name was actually Brandon. There are probably hundreds of Burkes in the world, just like there are plenty of people that share my last name. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked again. Anyways, your question is, do you think Sonic will be going downhill again after the negative reception of Sonic Boom? I don't really think so. I think if anything, I don't think Sonic Boom is really going to do anything that hasn't already happened to the franchise. I don't think it's going to do anything worse than usual. Because Sega and Sonic Team aren't really to blame for this game because they didn't make Sonic Boom. Big Red Button and Sanzaru games are probably going to be held more responsible for its failure. I think it's still very likely that we could see another Sonic game, and this one made by Sonic Team this year, or at the very least we'll see signs of it coming next year, because Sonic has games released pretty consistently, and since Sonic Boom wasn't made by Sonic Team, they have to have been working on something in the meantime. But I think Sonic Boom is just going to be looked back on as a speed bump, because, you know, Sonic's had quite a few of those over the years. And I think people are just going to try to forget that this game even happened, since it doesn't even take place in the normal Sonic universe, you know? It's so different that I think people are just going to kind of ignore it. They're not going to see it and then be instantly reminded of other Sonic games. I think they're just going to kind of sweep this under the rug and forget that it ever happened. But then again, seeing as how people are comparing it to Sonic 06, who knows how easily that will go over. But yeah, I don't see Sonic Boom leaving that much of an impact on the Sonic franchise. Yeah, it was different, but then again, so was Sonic Lost World. And if I had answered this question back when Sonic Lost World had first come out, I probably would say that yeah, it would leave a negative impact, and Sonic would probably be going downhill after this. But for Sonic Boom, I don't think so. I think it's just too different of a Sonic game to really, you know, kind of count against Sonic, against the franchise as a whole. I think the worst Sonic Boom is going to do is just kind of leave a bad taste in our mouths, and really nothing more than that. So yeah, I don't think Sonic Boom is going to turn out as offensive in the long run as people are making it out to be. Then again, I haven't played it myself yet, so I don't know. Okay, the next question comes from Throwback Jr. What were your thoughts on the passing of Robin Williams? Any fond memories of his movies? Oh God. You know, I honestly don't even really know what to say about him. I mean, Robin Williams was a brilliant man, and I'm honestly still in shock that he's actually gone. I had great memories of him. You know, he was Genie in Aladdin, he did Mrs. Doubtfire, and Jumanji, and Good Will Hunting, just to name a few of them. The man was brilliant. He excelled as an actor, in my opinion. And it's hard because I can't even go back and watch his films right now because I'm still in mourning over his passing. You know, if I go back and watch him in Aladdin as the genie, or if I go back and watch Mrs. Doubtfire, which I used to love these movies, and I still do, but it's just depressing to watch them now and just to instantly be reminded that he's gone, that he passed away. It's really hard, at least for me personally it is. And it's going to take a while before I can really look at him on screen in his older work without, you know, tearing up and getting all depressed about it, because I loved this man. He was one of my favorite actors. He was a comedic prodigy. You know, the improv he came up with in some of his movies was some of the best I'd ever heard growing up. And, you know, I understand why he did what he did. You know, I really do. What happened to him is something that a lot of people have been going through, and it's a problem that is still plaguing us as a species, you know, as a society. We're still grappling with the kind of condition that he had. And with what he was going through, I think as awful as his decision may have ultimately been, I think even Robin himself had to realize what he was leaving behind. And I think that even he had to have some regret about that as he made his decision. You know, he had friends, he had family, he had a loving daughter. I can't even imagine how Zelda Williams has been taking all this. Bless her for being so strong about losing someone as really just as brilliant and amazing as her father was. You know, Robin had fans all over the world, and we were heartbroken when we found out what happened to him. And you know, we're going to miss him, and we will move on, because that's part of life. People come and they go, and it's just how life is. And it does hurt, but we will get better. It hurts especially for me, and I know I will get better, but for right now, it really just breaks my heart to just even think of a world without him. I mean, I've gotten better now since it's been a long time since it actually happened. You know, a lot of time has passed since then, and I am doing better, but it still is just hard to think about. It's still kind of a wound that still hasn't completely healed for me yet. But like I said, you know, you really can't be too surprised that he is ultimately gone, because he was kind of getting on in years. You know, he wasn't exactly in his prime. He was suffering under some conditions, but you know, even if he hadn't decided to take his own life, it still would have happened to eventually. You know, he would have passed on eventually. It hopefully wouldn't have happened for many, many more years. We would have had much more time with him than we ultimately did. But, you know, that's life. People die, and that's just how it is. I mean, it's not pretty, but life itself is not pretty. It really isn't, and you realize that as you get older. So, bless you, Robin Williams. May you rest in peace. My heart goes out to his wife and his daughter, Zelda. I hope you guys are recovering, are doing the best you can to move on and to be happy with your lives, to not let his passing ruin your lives for you. But yeah, I don't even really have words for it anymore. It really is just awful, but you know, there's not much you can do. Okay, trying to cheer myself up a little bit, because that was really depressing. The final question here comes from Kamen Rider 64, or Kamen Rider 64, however you pronounce that first word. This is really a lengthy question, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it all on the screen here, so I'm just going to kind of condense it down a bit and summarize it. His question is, do you think Sakurai should have not revealed Lucina at the same time as Robin, and instead she should have been revealed when the roster leaked online, like Dr. Mario and Dark Pit were? I don't think it really would have made a difference when Lucina was revealed. I think she still would have gotten the same reception if she were leaked with the other clones as she did when she was actually revealed. I think even if she had been leaked with the other clones, people still would have been up in arms about her, because she was put in when Chrom wasn't, and she's still a Marth clone and all that jazz. And I think people still would have responded in the same way. There still would have been the same controversy and debate and everything. But I think I understand why Lucina was revealed with Robin, or at least I kind of have a theory about it. She technically is a new character in Smash Bros. In the scope of the Fire Emblem franchise, even though she doesn't play like a totally new character in Smash Bros. I think Sakurai might have felt that she is a popular new character from her franchise, and in that regard, she deserved a little publicity alongside Robin, whereas the other clones didn't get that treatment because with Dr. Mario, he's not a new character. He was playable in Melee. And as for Dark Pit, well, putting on my tinfoil hat here, but I think Sakurai kind of knew people wouldn't have responded well if Dark Pit had been officially confirmed the way Lucina was, with big trailer and everything. I mean, yeah, he was at the very end of Palutena's trailer, but we didn't know that he was officially playable yet. There was some speculation, but we didn't know that for certain. If we had known right away that Dark Pit was playable, people probably would have blown up in rage about it, as much as they did when we did find out that he's playable. I think that probably just would have happened sooner, and I think there probably would have been more of like a fallout from that. But I think Sakurai knew that people kind of would have responded that way, so he just kind of swept his official reveal on the website under the rug a bit, and he didn't really make a big song and dance about Dark Pit's reveal just because he knew people wouldn't have liked him as much. He felt Lucina would have been much more well received, so he decided to reveal her first. And yeah, I mean, yeah, there was controversy with her too, but I think ultimately people appreciate that as a character that she's in the game. They don't like the way she plays as a clone, but I think people can still appreciate that as a Fire Emblem character that she was a good pick. She was a popular choice. But if I'm wrong about all that, maybe the reason Lucina was revealed with Robin was because they were both from Fire Emblem Awakening. They're both from the same game. Or maybe just because they were both Fire Emblem characters. I don't know. I mean, Charizard and Greninja were both revealed at the same time. They were both from the same franchise, so I guess it's not totally uncommon for there to be a pattern there. But then again, Charizard isn't a clone of Marth, so it's not exactly the same situation, I guess. Wow, can you picture that? Charizard is a clone of Marth. Wouldn't that be something? You know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to see that. That would be terrifying. Well, that's all the time I have for now. Thanks for the questions, guys. I'm sorry. I know this one didn't have quite as many questions as usual. I'm kind of pressed for time at the moment. The next part will hopefully have more questions and cover more time. But for now, as always, thanks for watching. This has been Brawlmaster 012, signing off.